All right, let's welcome into the show somebody who was there to witness it live at DRV PNK Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Luis Miguel Echegaray joins us now, waving the Inter Miami flag. I don't even think that's an Inter Miami flag. I think that's just a Messi DS
Yeah, I don't even think that's official.
No, it's like the jerseys I bought on the side of the road there the other day.
There's nothing Inter Miami about this. This is all about Messi. Everything that you guys just said, and by the way, it's such an honor to be here. Finally, the debut with you boys. Listen, I got to tell you something. Everything that you just said is exactly correct, and let's quadruple that. Just because inside that stadium, I saw 2 matches within essentially the same environment. Every single person inside Fort Lauderdale, inside that stadium, in DRV PNK Stadium, they were just wanting one thing. They didn't even care about the result, to Herc's point. It wasn't about the fact that, yes, okay, it's the Leagues Cup. Yes, they need a victory. Yes, especially they need to get a new strategy in the Tata Martino. Yes, they haven't won a Leagues game since May 21st. It didn't matter. Lionel Messi was here to write the script, rewrite the script over and over again. And like you said, Sebi, you just knew that every time he touched the ball, some magic was going to happen, and you just knew as soon as he got that free kick, it was going to happen. But to be inside that stadium, especially in this area with the Latin American flavor, I saw every jersey was pink or black or Argentina. Every single one of them had Messi at the back. And that's saying something. It was an amazing night, a magical night, an existential, I think. That's why I stole this flag just for you guys. Look right here.
Let's go to DRV PNK Stadium. How did it hold up? You already mentioned the buzz. What about everything around it, the seating, the security, for a star of this magnitude?
It's a small stadium. It's only like 18K.
Yeah, it's kind of actually, it reminds me a lot of Audi Field, just the way that it's like, you know, situated and geographically placed and the size of it. Well, I'll tell you what, like with Scotch tape maybe in the corners, because they added some extra seats for today, because usually it's an 18,000 seater, but obviously they pushed it to about 22,000. But to that point about security, Herc, I was here a few weeks ago to write that big feature for ESPN, and I actually came to a game for July 4th. It's a completely different situation. I could have entered the pitch. I could have played in that game during that. This time around, it's easier to get into the White House, I think. This was just ridiculous. The security was, and even with the security, obviously there was, you know, trying to be a pitch invader, I believe, you know, right after that magical goal. But the security was intense, and it was very, very difficult to even get in, as you know, Herc Gomez. And obviously, it wasn't an easy situation just because all over the stadium, whether you wanted to get in, even in your seats. For example, there were some seats that were very close to the goal, and many fans, even before kickoff, wanted to just get really close and, you know, say hello to the goalkeepers, were the first players who come in to train, and the security guard would just push everybody back because security was big, big, big. And also, by the way, you know what's really funny about DRV PNK Stadium? When the players, like when Messi was on the bench with Sergio Busquets, he's about 5 meters away from Kim Kardashian's kids. Like, they're that close. Like, everybody's so close. LeBron James could literally just extend his arm and touch Sergio Busquets. It's all very, like, you know, close-knitted, which is great, I think. It's a good atmosphere because you don't really see it, especially in Europe, maybe more in North America. But definitely today, I think, was a lesson for everybody that works within that stadium, that especially when they host other teams like Atlanta United in the next few days, they're going to have to really rev up and keep up the security because this Messi mania is not going anywhere.
Take us to the goal. I want to hear about the moment. I want to hear where you were, how the crowd reacted, how the stadium reacted, what you were feeling.
Oh, it was crazy. All right, so it's 3 chapters. The first chapter is Lionel Messi getting off the bench to warm up with the rest of the players on the bench, right? Sergio Busquets, etc. That's when everybody stood up, chanted Messi, because they knew the minutes were coming. Then the second chapter is when he comes on, takes on the armband, and as Sebi was saying earlier, every time he touched the ball, he was getting more comfortable. He's a master of his own tempo, Lionel Messi, at 36 years old, right? He orchestrates everything. And then chapter 3. The goal. You knew it was happening. The free kick happened, and everybody in that stadium. I was next to Dre Cordera, who we all know very well, and both of us looked at each other and just said, "It's coming, isn't it?" Yeah, it's coming. I turn around, and boom, he bent it like his owner. He bent it like Beckham in the top left corner. It was quite a goal, and no one single. I think there was like a pause. Everybody inside the stadium kind of like taking a breath in, and then they were just like, oh my God, he actually did that ridiculous free kick. And then it just erupted. It was amazing. It was really amazing. And because it's such a small stadium, relatively speaking to others, you just felt that energy, everybody stamping their feet on the ground. It was, I couldn't believe it after 3 seconds. I really should have, because, you know, we know Messi do this every time, guys. It's ridiculous what he did. The stadium was popping, and it's still popping.
All right, there are a few things we got to see on TV, maybe some things we didn't get to see on TV that you could shed a light. There was a brief image, actually, of David Beckham crying. The star power that was there.
Yeah.
At one point, I saw David Beckham taking pictures with Lionel Messi, and he was breaking down like the old school cameras to take a picture. Was there anything you saw that maybe we didn't see on TV when it came to the star power in that moment of the free kick?
Yeah, the Beckham thing was very interesting, because I was looking at him throughout the whole thing, because he was like a little kid today. Before anybody entered the pitch, even, you know, way before kickoff, he was in the middle of the pitch, just like taking everything in, because he knows that this is a big moment for him. Obviously, you know the history. We all know the history of what it's taken for him to get to this point. And when that goal happened, you saw him, Victoria Beckham was right behind him, and he was so emotional. I believe David Grotman, you know, who I interviewed as well for my piece, he was right next to him as well. They were so emotional because it was such a big moment, not just for the win. I think the win was really the last thing in his mind. It was about the moment, about what it meant. And obviously, after the game, once Messi entered towards the tunnel, first, Kim Kardashian's kid grabbed him to take a selfie. But the second thing that happened was they embraced each other, David Beckham and Leo. And it's just meant a lot for him. And then other celebrities, LeBron was high-fiving, you know, his crew right there, Serena Williams applauding as well. It was such a weird moment. All these celebrities, Leo Messi, and then you've got, like, you know, Vice City and the Southern Legion. It's just so Miami, so Fort Lauderdale, to just get Leo Messi to score a stoppage-winning goal, hug David Beckham, take a selfie with Kim Kardashian's children, and then just leave the game. Like, it was ridiculous.
It's the new Major League Soccer. It's not all that different from when Herc played.
Well, actually, yeah, 2007 was the Beckham year. So, yes, you're right.
That's right. That's right.
There you go. Boom.
Let me ask kind of big picture, because it feels right now like anything is possible, right? You watch those 30 minutes, you watch those 40 minutes, you think, nah, this guy can make this team do anything. Are we getting caught up in the moment? Like, you watch this team play, you've seen them practice a couple times. What is the ceiling on this? And I'm talking in the short term. Like, can they make a run in this tournament? Is there something to be done in the MLS Cup playoffs? We know they're already in the semifinals of the Open Cup. What's the ceiling on this thing now that we can really dream?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. And that's the other side of this coin, I think, that we have to take into consideration, right? Okay, magical moment. Okay, they have arguably the greatest player that's ever lived playing for them. Okay, Sergio Busquets, by the way, one of the greatest midfielders the game has ever seen. Jordi Alba's about to come. But guess what? Just like Herc said at the beginning, they're not good. They're not a good team. The second worst defensive record in the Eastern Conference. They haven't won a league game since May 21st. They've only won 2 cup matches within that time frame. So, you know, they have a lot to do. The good news is that if you want victories and you want trophies, there are avenues to do this. Herc, I saw your tweet about the avenue of how Inter Miami could possibly win the League's Cup. It's not impossible. The more fitness Messi gets, the more accustomed Sergio Busquets gets. I think Jordi Alba actually is a massive piece of this, because I think one of the biggest issues when it comes to a Tata Martino system is that, okay, you commit yourself forward so much, but what happens right the moment you lose the ball? Jordi Alba is going to be very important in that situation. And also, they're in the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup. The winner of that gets a spot in CONCACAF Cup, doesn't it? So there are ways for them to get things. It's just when it comes to MLS, okay, what? 12 points away from the last playoff spot with 2 games extra. Realistically, statistically, numerically, you can do it. Will it happen? I don't know, because Cruz Azul, 3 straight losses in Apertura, and they just lost today. They've only scored 2 goals in that time frame. It's not like they played a good team today. Atlanta United will be a much more interesting test against Thiago Almada and co.
Yeah, you know what? I actually think I don't mind Cruz Azul. I think they're better than the record indicates. It's only been 3 games. This is probably the worst Major League Soccer team. I don't think this is the worst Mexican club. But you're right. Their road to success in Leagues Cup is a lot easier than most would think. I think they would take the teams they have to face up into that bracket, if you will. All right. A little bit of names. I mean, do we have anything from ownership? Are they going to make more moves? We know Jordi Alba's coming. We know that there's been rumors of Luis Suarez. Is there anything concrete in the works for Inter Miami because they need help. Messi needs help if they are to be successful.
Yeah, they need a lot of help, like you said. Lucho Suarez, as you mentioned, has been talked about, but I don't think anything, if it happens at all, because I know the Gremio ownership over there is not happy with him, but if it happens at all, it wouldn't even be until next season. And that's pretty much the barometer that I've set Inter Miami to do, to get going from next season, because this season is just, you know, testing the waters. Then there was some crazy rumors, which is obviously I just unfounded in Andres Iniesta. That's not going to happen anytime soon. But I think the key here is to make sure that the players that they already have, who, by the way, Drake Callender's a very good goalkeeper, man. He kept them in this game for a long time. So they have pieces, they have things that they can do. I just think that the most important thing is for Messi, Busquets to get more fitness and for their team around them, right, to get more accustomed. I actually talked to Robert Taylor, the scorer of the opening goal, the Finn midfielder attacker, and he said to me, listen, like, everybody's getting more comfortable with Messi and Busquets and vice versa. And I think the more cohesion we have, the better it's going to be. Because let's remember, Tata Martino just arrived, and his system is not easy to understand, especially with this Inter Miami system. So I see Inter Miami doing their thing next season. But if they can win the U.S. Open Cup, that's a win.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's September 27th, something like that would be the Open Cup final. Save the date. Save the date. I got to get past FC Cincinnati on August 23rd. Nothing easy about that, but what a story it would be. Yeah. Luis Miguel, great to have you with us on Futbol Americas. We will do it again before long. Thanks again.
Later, buddy.
I hope so. Thank you, brothers. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.